All right, everybody. We're here. We are live. We're going to have some fun talking sci-fi and other random stuff probably that'll come up. So we're doing Starfighters today, favorite sci-fi starfighters, and this is by no means limited to movies, TV shows, and video games, because why the hell not? Why the hell not? So we got to we're going to go to the upper row. We got Travis Laserman and Favre over here.
Yo.
Beneath me, we got the Spud, who is, well, he's a Spud. I don't know what else to say. Revan.
God potato.
Hey, fuck you. We got Mr. Nobody. And oh, God. Then next to him, we have Phil. Phil had to step away for the moment, so if he's not saying anything, that's why. I would have delayed the stream, but I don't like to be rude to my viewers. So anyways, we're going to talk Starfighters, and we're just going to get right into this. And also, I just have to say this as a moment on record. This is a legal matter I do have to bring up. Disney Star Wars does suck. This is an actual legal document, by the way. It's a page from an actual legal document. So, Disney Star Wars sucks. We have to get this out of the way, because if we don't, I don't want to get in any trouble. So, there. We have covered our bases. So, and we got Phoenix Argus in the thing. Phoenix, didn't you want to come on? You can join us if you want. I put the link out. Let me send
that Discord.
Oh, okay, that's right. Sorry, give me 1 second here. For some reason, I thought he was, and I don't know why I thought that. So, all right, well, that's loading up. Okay, anyways, we're gonna get right into this. I mean, yeah, Kurtzman does suck. Suck.
If such a document existed, I'm sure it would be circulating by now.
Disney, every unit sucks.
It's called his wedding.
No, it's not his wedding. I wouldn't say that. So we're gonna jump straight into this. This is one of Favre's. You want to explain one to this, because this kind of looks like from the motion ride.
No, unfortunately, it's one of the best pictures I could get, and it's a CG model somebody did of it. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the other ones, it's from a show from back in like the 80s, and a lot of the screenshots are kind of small.
Gotcha.
This is the Visitor Fighter. The Visitors from the Series V had a bunch of fighter craft and shuttles, and they were kind of interchangeable. Because if you have the other image I sent you with that's got the big bit in the middle.
I got this one.
That's a Sky Fighter. That's a variation of that. That's the one with the big boxy bit in the fucking middle.
I did not save that one.
That's all right. Basically, these were multi-purpose craft. They were used as fighters, bombers, transports. They were kind of modular, so they'd swap out bits. And what they do, if they wanted a cargo ship, they'd take that fighter and they'd basically stick it in one end of it, and there'd be an extra engine bit in the back of the cargo section, and they'd use it as like a troop transport. Otherwise, these were multi-purpose fighters, armed with both front and rear laser cannons. And when these fuckers actually showed their hand and actually started an invasion of Earth, these fucking things were everywhere. They were used for air to air, air to surface, everything.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, show if any of you are interested, I can share because I do.
Well, did they do like a remake of V?
They did a remake, which was fine. I didn't like it quite as much, but it wasn't bad.
Because I don't remember like an alien invasion in V. It was like
it already happened.
Oh,
it was a sequel. It wasn't a remake.
Oh, I thought it was a remake.
The invasion,
for some reason.
in the new one, the invasion had already happened and then basically been repelled. The problem was that some of the visitors were stranded on Earth, and then another contingent showed up.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, all right, that makes a little bit more sense. All right, so we're gonna jump to another fighter. This one, I believe, Phoenix sent me this one.
Oh, the Aura-class starfighter from Knights of the Old Republic.
All right.
Now, manufacturer is Republic Fleet Systems, and with the estimated cost of 360,000 credits went to it. One pilot, consumables for 1 week. Two heavy laser cannons, 2 proton launchers. With that fires 6 torpedoes. Now, this one, where does it show up? I have to remember that.
It shows up, from what I recall, it shows up in the big final battle, like when the Republic forces attack the Starforge. That's where I first remember seeing it in the game.
Yeah, that's where. You're right. And man, when I saw that look to me, it looks like Republic 6 right there, just flying right into the Starforge. It is slick. It is sexy, and you can see the Jedi Starfighter from Episode 3, and also the Alpha, the A-wing.
You can
in
also
that
see
design.
the Venator. You can also, from the front of it, you can actually see the Venator class.
Yeah. This was because there were 2 fighters that they showed in the game. This one and then another one.
Another one that looks like the B-wing.
Kind of like, yeah. And this fighter I always loved visually. It's just got it's like you said, it's got a sleekness, and it doesn't look intimidating, but then once you read its loadout, you're like, holy shit, this thing can actually do some damage. For a fighter this small. It's not a massive fighter, as I recall.
No.
It's not
massive. It's sleek, low profile, and it is fast.
Yeah,
but,
it's a beautiful ship. It's a beautiful ship.
But it is a shame. It is a crying shame that they did not include it in the MMO.
Oh shit!
I mean, it.
You okay, Farm?
No, I noticed something funny. When he's done, I'll tell you.
All right. So we got another fighter
here. Does anybody know how like energy, electric cement, like joules? Like
joules, yeah, like megajoules, gigajoules.
I saw a thing where somebody did an estimation of the weapons on those visitor shuttles. 120,000 joules.
Jesus Christ!
What is that? That's 120. It's not.
That's a lightning storm.
Yeah, it basically was like getting struck by a fucking lightning bolt.
They did that actually with others, like in the breakdowns of Star Wars ships. They actually broke down the various gigajoules of the various capital ships.
But Farv, is it enough to send you back to the future?
No, that's gigawatts. Damn it.
That's gigawatts. That ain't the same thing.
3/9.
But anyways, we got another fighter here. We got this one. I believe this one came from our man Travis here.
Yeah. Oh, hey. I sent you the other one first because that'll give context to what these are.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so in the show Space Battleship Yamato 2199, the ship itself had these. These are the first generation of space and atmospheric fighter craft that were launched from the Yamato itself. So you're looking at, it has both conventional missiles and weapons. They call it the Cosmo Tiger. Basically, they take the naming and idea conventions from a lot of World War II stuff and put it in space. Yamato itself being the core concept of that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
This fighter here is incredibly capable. It's got Vertier thrusters all over it that you can see. Was proven to be highly effective against the opposing forces. I'm not going to sit there and break down the whole series because we don't have that kind of time.
Nah.
The alien forces had comparable craft, and they had a lot larger and bigger carrier fleets. But these things were able to operate independently and farther away from the Yamato itself.
Right.
What you're really looking at is the core concept. Now, what a lot of fans have done is they've taken this and they're like, oh, like the Space Battleship Arizona, things like that. So if you swap back to the other image, What this is this is a P-51 Mustang in space. Is what it is. As you can see, a lot of the design elements lend to that.
Mm-hmm.
And they call it the Cosmo Mustang 5 and then the Cosmo Merlin 455 engine. Like, they even kept the Merlin idea in it. So, basically, what this is this is a later... I believe the concept is that this is a later iteration of the Cosmo Zero, which is a North American P-51 Mustang, where it's atmospheric and spatial use. It's got 4 linked it's got 6 left and right linked auto cannons that are, I believe, 20 millimeter or higher. And it also has, I believe, wing stores. But what I liked about this, and there are too many images that are like this, like they did one for the Spitfire, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
They even got one for the Corsair, which is pretty cool. But I like the idea of taking the concept of a Second World War space aircraft and putting it in space, but how to make it look applicable.
Yeah.
Where you can kind of tell what it is at first glance, but then again, it's for a completely different purpose. I've always liked this concept, and there's other things that go along with this, like turning Cold War jets into spacecraft. I like this kind of stuff. It's creative.
Macross did that with the SV-51, basically.
They look like
and I think you didn't you?
I said it's not the SV-51, but yes.
Actually, we'll jump to. I got 2 images. We'll just jump to this one first, since you mentioned it.
The VF-1, hell yeah!
Yep.
I grew up watching that.
Yeah, the VF-1 is from both Macross and Robotech, depending on which version of the show you saw. Mm-hmm. And these were meant for both air and space. They were usually used as fighters, occasionally as bombers or like heavy fighters.
Mm-hmm.
But these were the literal like workhorse of the SDF fleet in general.
All right. Hey, Nicole,
whenever they needed fighters, this is what they had. Different variations of it as time went on, but this was the base model, I would say.
Now, I remember watching
now what that stuff
show,
there is on it is when they would set them up for like deep space operations, they would rig them up differently, obviously. Now, if you have that other image of the red and blue ones,
I do. Right there.
These were more common. These belong to 2 very specific pilots. A couple that would later actually end up being a married pair of ace pilots.
Right.
That would be Max and Miria. Depending, they have different names in the Japanese version, which I'm really terrible at remembering.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think Max's name was Universal. It's just her name that changed.
Gotcha.
But these were... Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'll talk about chat.
These were what I would also call very modular kind of all-purpose fighters, because these things would transform. They had 3 modes. They had what you see here with the jet. They had what was called the Gearwalk or the Guardian mode, depending on which version you were watching, where they basically underfolded a pair of arms and legs where they could land and take off again and fire the gun pod, which was usually mounted under the belly. And then they had what was called the Battleoid mode, where it just went full mecha suit.
It's a great fucking series to watch. It's a great... I watched through the whole thing, and then I watched... Robotech: The Shadow Chronicles, the first one, which is the only one technically they made. But it's a phenomenal series, and I love how the later iterations that they show, especially in the Shadow Chronicles, they look modeled off of like F-14s.
My favorite variation of these things I didn't pick because, to be fair, it wasn't as prevalent and it never actually went into space because that model was only in one movie. Well, one miniseries, and that was the SV-51, which is this big Russian bastard that basically was whooping the shit out of like the UN fighters for like most of that show. But it wasn't around long enough, so I kind of went with this one since it's kind of the starter, what I would call the starter of the series.
All right. Yeah, it's a beautiful looking thing, and again, if it's plays great homage to modern day fighters, so I mean I highly recommend the show. This one is going to be from me. This is the primary fighter of that the Earth uses in the show Space Above and Beyond. It's the thing that I love about the show is that it's based in the future. But you still have like the Marine Corps and everything. And I love how this has a futuristic design, but still very much grounded. Like it's not like super high tech advanced. Like it still takes off and lands like a modern day jet. It's got the hard points for rockets and bombs and missiles, but it's also got like laser cannons.
Like, it looks like a weird cross between a Pterodactyl, a freaking like Harrier, and a Hind.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like if you watch the show, it's got 2 turrets. This little ball like bulb thing on the back end near like about halfway between the wings, that's like an aft gun turret. And then it's got a chin mounted one like an Apache underslung here where the cockpit is.
Oh, so it's got a gun pod in the nose.
Oh, that's right. It does have the gun pod in the nose. Yeah, you're right. It's been a while since I've seen the show. But like I said, it's a great show to watch. I fucking love this thing when it flies around. It's just beautiful to look at. It really is. And again, I like it because it's space, it's sci-fi, but it's still very much realistic to a degree in terms of a design. So
it'll take out your home and the rest of the block for shits and giggles.
Yeah, basically, it'll do that and then go take on an alien fighter squadron right after.
It's an interesting show because I sat down and watched it not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Arlie Erm in it for a little bit.
Yeah, in the first like episode or two. Yeah.
God, that scene that would never fly today, but I love it. Where he tells them to grab each other's ass.
There's many things that went
Bone says it looks like you could also fly in reverse.
I don't know if I agree with that because I see that big ass engine sticking out the back of it.
Yeah, but I get what he's saying.
If the engine wasn't there, I would almost say yeah.
Yeah, but I get what he's saying. Like you could, if you just switch the location of the cockpit and the engines, you could honestly. It actually, you know what it would resemble? So in Fallout 4, and I know it gets a lot of hate, but you see like the fighters that America uses, it would kind of resemble something like that because they got that big wing shape and that small little tail fin in the back.
If you put the cockpit up front, it would almost look like some kind of weird Cardassian fighter with the way it has a reverse swept wings.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, that's very true. All right, so we're gonna go with. I'm trying to remember who sent me. Oh yeah, I think Revan, this was yours.
Okay, could you actually go for the one I just sent you first?
Where did you send it?
Facebook.
Give me 1 second. Well, that's how we primarily communicate, him and I.
Yeah.
So. Give me 1 second. Let me.
It's like a mosquito.
Yeah, it's actually the Wraith's ship from Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I absolutely love these because you don't need to see them. All you need to hear is their buzz, and it strikes absolute fear into everyone. And then when they don't actually basically kill a lot of people, what they actually do is in that long point, it's like there is a long transporter beam in the nose, and it beams them up. Now, the reason why they actually look like bugs is because the Wraith themselves are actually evolved from a bug called the Aratheus bug 10,000 years ago.
Okay, then.
Yeah, and the Wraith technology is all like organic, kind of like base technology. Like they don't have shields, but their ships are massive, so they can take a beating. And then after the battle, they'll just regenerate whatever systems and hull that was damaged.
Hey, Josh.
There's even a...
Remind you of the Zeta 6?
A little bit, yes.
There's even actually a line in Stargate Atlantis where they're actually inside of a raid ship and they start touching their ears in a hole to get it, and they're like, "Everyone, get out of here! The ship is regenerating. Move."
Oh,
yeah. All right, so we got Phil back. So we're gonna jump to one of the ones he sent.
Yo.
I would just like to say I apologize for missing the first 20 minutes of this, despite being in the stream. Technically, I had to step away from my computer to feed some dogs.
No worries.
Nobody else in your house.
And
Who did you feed him to?
Oh God.
I choose not to
Answer
humor
that question. Yeah.
and to answer Favre's question by saying the people who do normally feed the dogs are out away for the weekend.
Gotcha. But Bone, in regards to your comment there, yeah, in a way they kind of do look like mosquitoes, and that's
I thought
that's
that too when I came back.
yeah, it's the design aesthetic of the raid.
And they actually buzz.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're designed by bug people. I mean,
yeah, basically. So it's again, Stargate Atlantis, hands down, to me is the best of the Stargate franchise. It's the best series.
I think
in my opinion,
SG-1 is.
It's got one person in it that makes it superior. Favre knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about.
Are you talking about Taylor?
We're talking about Claudia Black.
Claudia Black. She joins in like the last season and a half, 2 seasons.
I know who she is.
Yeah, I know. So since Phil got here, we're gonna
hey.
jump to one of his.
Our wings.
Oh yeah. So how many of y'all in the chat and in the stream have played a Star Fox game?
I've played
Never.
most of them. Actually.
Fuck, I played the
ton of
shit
it,
out
yeah.
of Star Fox 64.
I'm gonna be the guy in the room though. I like the Star Wolf fighters better.
I brought those two.
He brought those two. I'm not jumping to it yet because I want to try and spread
That's
everyone's
fine.
ideas around. So,
So-
yeah,
And
no, this
for anybody who has played Star Fox, this needs no explanation because
No.
you already know.
Mm-hmm.
All I will say is I have wanted forever a toy or model of an R-Wing, and they've never made one.
I know where you could get one, but it's expensive.
Yeah, I'm not talking like just a display thing. I mean like something to actually play with. Yes, I know.
No,
I don't
I'm like there is something, but it's expensive. I'll talk to you later.
Actually,
Oh,
what might
please.
actually give you hope, Phil, is Playmates is after getting a load of contracts to start making ships. It's after getting contracts to do classic Star Trek again. It's after getting contracts to do Doctor Who. It's after getting contracts to do Stargate.
The fact that CBS is actually getting licensing classic Star Trek toys again is rather promising and rather telling.
Hopefully, yeah. We'll see what comes of it. But anyway, you might want to get back into that.
Yeah, we're gonna jump to another one here. Let me just go through the list here. All right, we're gonna. There's no way. I think I already
We did that
showed
already.
You did that one, and then we did. Okay, sorry. You know
That's
what?
all
We're
right.
gonna jump.
Oh well, nobody probably here needs to be explained to what that is.
Is
What, the
that
TIE
the
Interceptor?
TARDIS?
Why
Yeah.
is those two bottom guns
Oh,
don't
Jesus
fire?
Christ.
What's
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I thought those two guns that you typically see on the TIE Fighter, they didn't fire. I thought all the lasers were in the wingtips there.
There's a variant that doesn't get used very often, and I think that's what the modeler was basing this on. Because it
I didn't
only
think it had
appeared
the
in some of the
energy for
expanded
6.
universe stuff.
It looks like they just have fucking lightsabers going out the wings.
It's a still image. It's not helping. But yeah, the
I
TIE
know, but it's
Interceptor
funny.
was probably, in terms of fighters, one of the baddest things out there. Only thing it was lacking was shields. It was fast. It was maneuverable. It hit like a fucking truck.
Yeah.
And if you had anybody that knew what they were doing and they had to get assigned a fucking interceptor, these fucking things were dangerous.
Yeah, they were. That is one thing I will say, that there are some things that I will say about the original series, and again, they're not perfect. They are by far the best of the trilogy out of all the Star Wars.
Hello?
But the technology of the time in terms of any form of CG really didn't do the TIE Interceptor and the TIE Bomber any justice. They really didn't, because imagine if you did today's CG and you showed the TIE Interceptor, that thing would just look like a boss.
Yeah, the problem was, in the original movies, you barely saw them.
Yeah, you see them in a few scenes, but you don't really. Again, because of the limited CG of the era, you couldn't really see them in their true form.
The Jehovah's Witnesses.
Are you fucking serious?
Oh my god! So, but I'm gonna pop one of mine up, and Nicole in the comments will get this one.
Oh hey,
yeah,
the Gunstar.
The Gunstar.
Okay. Yeah. Show of hands. Who here has? What's the record on how many times you've seen The Last Starfighter?
I don't.
I have it on Blu-ray. So
I own it on DVD, but I don't have it.
What's The Last Starfighter?
Okay. I'm just gonna ask. I'm gonna ask this
4 times, thanks to a VHS cassette.
So, Revan, are you actually serious? Have you never seen The Last Starfighter? We're gonna rectify this ASAP. This is
a good movie, actually.
It's a classic, simple movie. This movie came out in the early 80s. It actually revolutionized certain CG that was used later on in the 80s and going up till today. It revolutionized. And I didn't know this. Guess how big the budget was for this movie?
$10. It was enormous, actually.
It was, for that time, it was around a little over 15 million. Guess how much that movie spent on the CG in this movie?
14 million.
Like over half?
13 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. So, do you know how long they took them to render the ship scenes? Like what, 3-6 months?
It took them, it took them at least half a year, if not more,
just to render.
And also, Nicole. Yeah, I liked Centauri's car too.
Centauri's. Yeah, it wasn't a starfighter, so that's the only reason I didn't include it. But if we were just talking spacecraft, like just in general, Centauri's car, because the thing I love about Centauri's car, the way its wheels retract kind of reminds you a little bit way of the DeLorean with the folding wheels. So, but I've seen this movie at least 50 times. This was like one of the movies next to Star Wars. This was one of the sci-fi movies I watched all the time as a kid. You
do realize that they make other movies, right?
I know, but remember when you're a kid and you're the only one who likes sci-fi out of everyone you know. I was a closet nerd, and I just love the Gunstar because of just, again, it's a flying. It's like the B-15.
And now we're surrounded with wannabes. What the hell?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Right? So CSA, what you're effectively saying is, when you were a closet nerd, that you came out of the closet.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm gonna, when I see you, I'm just gonna bitch slap you. I'm just gonna, come on, man. But
that was weak, man.
That was weak. But a big reason why I love this fighter is it has five laser turrets spread out all over it, so it has a 360-degree field of fire.
Well, not only that, but they were all ball turrets, so it can fire in multiple directions from each spot.
Yeah, so like you could do essentially a full broadside with 3 of the turrets going one direction if you want to, with just constant laser fire, had missiles, and then the hero variant, which was a prototype, has Death Blossom, which basically just had hundreds of fucking missiles in it.
That motherfucker just popped open every panel, started spinning around and firing shit in all directions.
and then Craig is like,
good thing that he didn't eat when he
right.
shot at it, Right?
I just love that scene.
Don't eat before you go on the ride, kids. Don't eat it before you go on the ride.
Okay, that scene when he's spinning around when they actually show him in the chair, doesn't it look like something like fighter pilots would have to go through just for like orientation purposes? It
kind of does look like some NASA bullshit or something.
I would find that scene, but again, I'd get copyright struck if I showed that scene. There's a lot of stuff I wish I could show you, even like little short clips of.
I hope that when we go to visit NASA that they have the vomit rocket and they get to record each and every one of you.
That's not something the average person can do.
Yeah, you can't just do that.
You can't just do that. So, But anyways, we're gonna move on to another one.
I think I just found out why the previous candidate actually didn't make it through. He threw up on the trainer.
Oh my gosh. So we got this little beauty here. I believe this was Phoenix's. So Phoenix, tell us a little bit about this one, because I don't know if I've ever seen this.
Yeah. This is the Valkyrie starfighter from Star Trek Invasion, which is stationed aboard the USS Milk Carton. USS Typhon. There are 3 variants in total. This is the first variant. I like this class because it looks like a proper starfighter than the Peregrine. I mean, it has that sexy look to it.
Yeah.
And it looks like it could be related to the Type 9 shuttle. It's got
Yeah,
that
I could
design
see that in some ways. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah.
Quick question, just two. One pertaining to this, and then one just kind of broadly Star Trek related.
Yeah.
Is this a canon design or is this from a fan series?
This isn't from a Star Trek game, which was on the PlayStation.
All right.
Which, if are Star Trek video games considered canon in terms of
okay, it's beta.
Hold on, I actually
beta. Gotcha.
So, according to CBS, what CBS states is canon, and I know what your guys are saying. I'm just saying the makers of it say it's canon. So they're saying that the Picard comics are canon, the Discovery comics are canon, the upcoming Mirror Universe books are canon.
Let's shorten this up. The only things they're saying are canon is all the new shit that they're trying to sell to people.
Book-wise, yes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with D&D.
Novels are not canon.
It's toilet paper canon.
No, Phil, they actually stated that the ones I stated are canon.
Phil, this is a thing. They're still trying to push Picard and Discovery. So anytime something comes out, they just try to push it as canon to the series now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I fail in
every possible way.
I fail in sales.
And then
anyway, the armament has Type 10 phasers, 10-foot photon torpedoes, and is capable of having a cloaking device on it, which goes against the Treaty of Algeron.
well, let's face it, the Defiant went against the Treaty of Algeron.
No. It only could operate the cloaking device while it had the Romulan supervisor on board,
which it lost. No, because they still use the cloaking.
Yes, but that was what was supposed to happen.
Nicole, I don't know if you can fail at failing, but I'm pretty sure they're trying.
No, they have failed. And
wait, isn't fail at failing called winning?
Yeah,
technically, but they haven't managed that.
Yeah, they haven't managed that one absolute bit. I mean, because let's just be real, and I'm not going to go on a Star Trek tangent here, but when I hear people like Tim Pool say, "Oh yeah, I actually like Picard," I want to just like reach through and grab him by his shirt and be like, "You call yourself a Trekkie supposedly, and you liked Picard." I get it. There are Trekkies out there who like Picard, but again, if you want to hold true to the ideals that were the characters, it's shit on almost every one of them.
Credibility on that regard when half that show is about fucking stoners and fucking murderers.
Yeah, it's and
like
again,
every hero in the show, quote unquote hero character in the show, is like committed something that in a real Star Trek show would land them in prison.
Yeah.
The only characters in that show that were remotely true to form in any way were Riker and Troy. They were the closest that they were.
And frankly, I only think because they were in it for such a short time.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry.
Guys, check the private chat. Then.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not even gonna. I'm not gonna comment it. I'm not going to comment.
His
But
opinion is
CSA, when you
irrelevant.
go to mine, can you show me can you put up the last one I sent you first?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I got one. So, who all knows what this is?
Hey, Babylon 5, not bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Another show I haven't seen.
Oh, Babylon 5 is a great one. First season is a little bit rocky, but it's good, but it's just, again, it's first
also,
season.
it's worth noting, Revan, that Babylon 5 has Walter Koenig, who was Chekhov's actor, as a villain.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh.
And he's
Actually, I liked
great.
him in
I'd
that.
say
He was great in Babylon 5.
Well, yeah,
well,
he's probably a gray area.
He does move up towards being anti-hero towards later end of the series.
Yeah. I mean, the Star Fury, and remember, you're talking, this is in the 90s still, but the way they did the Star Fury with the CG at the time, it looked beautiful. I would love to see a complete remaster of the Star Fury because I think it would look even better.
Hi, Benji.
I like the Thunderbolt variant of this. Of the Star Fury.
Surprisingly, you mentioned that. I was actually just getting ready to jump to that one. The Thunderbolt. This is the next gen version. So this is what would eventually replace the Star Fury.
This was some shit could have used the game, really.
It honestly, I would have loved to see a Babylon 5 like fighter simulator.
Even just an arcade like fighter game would have been good.
Yeah, but the cool thing about the Thunderbolt is that, so let me just point something. Let me pull up the Star Fury again just for a quick second. So on the Star Fury, those two little nubs just underneath the cockpit. Those are its primary cannons. Okay. This one, I love it how it's got the A10 look. That little bulge just underneath the cockpit, it's a massive cannon that's almost twice the size of the Star Furies, and it fires in pulses of like 7. So it'll just do strafing runs of it, and it's awesome to see. It really is. Yeah. So we're gonna go to this one, which Revan sent.
Sorry, cat troubles.
I noticed.
I kind of figured that.
Okay, so this is called the Needle Treader from Stargate SG-1.
Okay.
And this ship is actually in the current show of Stargate. It's about 120 years old. This is actually the precursor to the Deck Glider. And it's actually more maneuverable, and it goes through the Stargate.
Given the exceptionally minimalist design, I actually could see them selling that as being a few hundred years old.
Yeah.
No, it's only 120. Well, they stopped making it 120 years ago. Master Braytak actually had one hidden away under a load of bushes.
Now those, if I miss, because I ain't seen it forever, those things, those pods, those basically work just like the staff, don't they?
Yeah, they're giant staffs.
Yeah, they're basically like giant staff weapons, basically.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, if you actually remember, Farv, in one or two of the episodes, especially in the later seasons with O'Neill, they started using cannons. The Gould, the Jaffa did.
Yeah.
And all the... Yeah. Could you bring up the Death Glider?
Oh, yeah.
So this is what they evolved into. Now, brain, please work. Thank you. An actually interesting fact is that now you can't see it in this, but see the front window, the very front little point. At the nose there is a raised indentation on it with the symbol of whichever Gould that ship served.
Okay.
Yeah. And those things are absolute. Now they had I can't believe I'm going to say this word, especially with Phil here. A third variant, right? I swear to God, CSA, I will stab you.
Oh my God, damn,
dude, come on! I'm not making fun of him. Dear God.
Wow.
So basically, what the third variant is actually they jerry-rigged these deck gliders to remove stargates where they had a big hole in the center, and they had like nearly a beam would go down, lock onto the stargate, and pull it up, and then it would hook onto it. And an interesting thing is, you're wondering, how do you get into the ships? So the glass actually raises up when they're docked, and the chairs actually raise up. So when the pilots are actually getting in, they go in, they sit on the chairs, and the chairs then go down into the ships.
Oh, okay.
It was the other way. The chairs go up.
Man, I ain't seen that fucking forever.
The chairs go up into the ship.
They go up, kind of like how it is in the Gunstar, where they sit, where except imagine instead of like a little like elevator thing, it's the actual like chairs. They go down, and then you get in the chairs, and then the chairs retract.
By the way, as I mentioned to all the Babylon 5 fans, Phoenix informed me via DM that there was a fucking video game, and then they canceled it.
What?
Yep. Babylon 5.
Sierra Games was working on it, and it got canceled.
Babylon 5 Into the Fire.
Oh, damn, that sucks. Babylon 5 had some great ship designs.
There is some screenshots out there.
If any of you
There was a
remember-
starfighter simulator.
So if any of you actually remember in the Stargate movies, and in the beginning of Stargate Universe, that when they were showing the fighters, that there was actually scratches on the front of it and looked like burn marks. Yeah, that's because they had cut off the Goa'uld symbols.
Oh, they removed the
Yeah, because it was the Lucian Alliance, which was like a organization.
No, it was the Lucian Alliance, and basically, after the Goa'uld Empire fell, any free Jaffa flying around in them just kept it. It was like, oh, this is mine now.
Well,
and to actually piggyback off of you, we have the X-302, which was the humans' humans' response to the Death Glider. And you can tell the obvious.
Which is actually interesting because the X-301, which you don't have up, that was actually a fun episode because basically they literally copied a Death Glider, and because they copied it so well, they actually had copied a homing device.
No, they didn't copy it.
They
took an actual Death Glider and just took the cockpit out and retrofitted it for humans. But it was still a Death Glider. It was still an actual Death Glider. I saw that episode like half a dozen times. So
I know, I love that. I love that show.
It was a great show. But yeah, this is called the X-302. This is what the humans use throughout SG-1 Atlantis and even in Universe in the very beginning. It's got a railgun, like in the show, obviously because of the caption of alien tech, railguns become a thing, and they're not like one-shotters. They actually turn them into. They develop the technology to where they're kind of like machine guns in a way, but they're miniaturized railguns. And so this has hard points for several missiles or bombs, depending on what you're doing, or actually nukes, and then like one railgun underneath the cockpit. And these were just fun to see flying around because those two engines there were the standard, and then that third engine was the atmospheric engine to boost it into space if they needed to go from atmosphere to space.
Which always made me laugh about Stargate, the fact that by season 10 and even the movies that the Stargate was still a secret was absolutely hilarious.
How?
What?
How could it be?
Exactly.
The reasoning that they kept using was that because basically they were fighting basically an intergalactic war in secret. Yeah. They were afraid of mass panic, religious stuff coming out, people being outraged that they were in an intergalactic war without their permission. Like all this chaos would erupt if they found out that, we had nearly been invaded several times and stuff. So that you keep hearing excuses from the military.
The thing is, I could understand the reasoning. I just don't understand how they'd have managed it by then.
Yeah, especially Farm, do you remember especially the last season, the Ori got closer than the bloody moon.
You'd think somebody would notice something. I mean, I don't know. I didn't quite get it. But please continue. I got nothing.
So let me pull up another one. All right, so Phil and Farf brought this one up.
What the hell is that?
That's Star Wolf's equivalent to the R-Wing.
That is the Star Wolf counterpart to the R-Wing, the Wolfen.
It looks like it's smiling.
There's actually a weapon in there.
Yes.
Is it made by the dentist? By the dental association?
If it wasn't a constantly on, you give it a little sliding light. Knight Rider.
Thank you for.
Or even a silent radar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because didn't they say that this was like the next gen R-Wing, I think, or something like that? Or
No,
was it a prototype?
It was just developed from the R-Wing, basically.
Okay.
A rival faction developed an equivalent fighter.
That's what it was. I forgot the explanation for why it looks similar yet different. I forgot the explanations for it.
That's because it's Star Wolf, not Star Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that. So we're gonna pull up one of Phoenix. Another one. I think it was either Phoenix. Yeah, I think it was Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
I'll be back again.
The Sith Starfighter from the Jedi Civil War.
What?
Sorry to interrupt you, guys. I'm going to bow out. Okay.
Oh, okay, man. You're
all right.
Yep. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Okay.
Peace out.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Take it.
All right.
Okay, go ahead, man.
This is Starfighter. It only has 2 laser cannons, and it is lighter than the Auric Starfighter. So it leaves me questioning why the Republic had such trouble with them. But they were probably more nimble. The wings, they fold up underneath the Sith Starfighter, and you can actually see some of the influences in the later Sith fighters in the MMO, Knights of the Old Republic. But this one, that was produced en masse because of its design. So I figured they would be, but the Republic got beaten by Swarm Tactics. But this neat little starfighter, it is. I like it. It's
It looks cool. I like the design.
Yeah. It's just a small little nimble starfighter. Basically, it's nice.
You can see how it would influence later designs in the Republic. No, not the Republic. Sorry,
the Empire.
Yep. But it also drew designs from the comics as well. So there's that as factor.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, and then we got I'm trying to remember which ones Revan sent, so I don't go to those. Just looking over these quickly, just so I don't go. Okay, all right. So I got one that I don't know if y'all even know what it's from.
I'm not sure that one's overly familiar.
Okay, Andromeda Ascendant.
Oh shit!
Those are the.
I only saw Andromeda. I did not see Ascendant.
Okay, well,
no. That's what it was called. It was called Andromeda. The ship was called Andromeda Ascendant, but yeah, Andromeda.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Sorbo.
Hell, what the fuck are these?
This is what the I forget what the organization's called that Andromeda belongs to. I'm going fucking brain dead on it, but these are called slip fighters. This is what their fighters are. They were stored in the hangar bays, and they were on like a little levitation platform, so they didn't actually like have landing gear. And these could actually slipstream, which is what in the Andromeda universe was their FTL. So these fighters were small, nimble fighters that could enter slipstream for a certain range. And I always liked them because they're just so different than what you see in sci-fi usually.
Yeah.
They're just the cool little fighters to when you see them in the show. Commonwealth. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much. The Commonwealth. That's what it was called.
Looks like a bug with a TIE fighter cockpit.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, love or hate Andromeda. It did have because it was Roddenberry, right? Who did that? It was Roddenberry's son.
Yeah.
I know the Roddenberry name's attached to Andromeda
because his son.
It's Gene Roddenberry.
It was Gene Roddenberry, yeah. And I loved the show.
I'm back.
I met his son. His son's about as brain dead as you can get.
Well, that's an understatement, but we're not going to get into how brain dead his son is. So, yeah. But anyways, I like I said, love this little fighter. It's so different in sci-fi than a lot of other movies, franchises, whatever, because it doesn't fit the standard norm for what a fighter should look like.
Makes sense.
So, and then we got. I'm trying to think. The ones I picked.
I should still have one more.
You had you had this.
No, that's
and then
one.
You had the two from Macross.
And I sent you one more.
Well, there was one more from these.
No.
Okay, let me double check that. I'm sorry. You can tell how professional. This is the most professional stream on YouTube here, people. Sorry about this.
It's the round one with the boxy cockpit.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. Okay, I do remember that. I thought I saved that, and then I
should have sent you like a front view and a back view of it.
Yeah, you did. Give me 1 second here.
Pardon us, folks. We're boomering a little hard here.
Yeah, I'm such a boomer. I'm in the same category as Gary. I'm just boomering the shit out of this right now.
At least you're not quite Rackets level boomer yet.
Let me. No. Fuck. No, stop it. Damn computer. Did this one not save? I'm sorry, Five. There's another one that apparently it didn't save into the right folder, and I'm just now realizing this. Yeah,
I believe it was the Dilbert comics that stated to err is human. To really fuck up, you need a computer.
Okay, all right. That's
just ask Apple when they developed their fucking GPS program.
Please turn right into the stream.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, so pull this one.
There we go. That is the Cylon Raider. That is
the OG Cylon
the
Raider.
Original fucking Battlestar Galactica, which I actually watched with my mother back in the fucking day. I loved those fucking ships because they got this kind
front view or now.
That's the front. That's the front. That's the cockpit right there, and the black bit right there. That's the cockpit.
Okay.
Because there was a team of 3. There was the pilot, the gunner, and then the commander who would sit behind them further back in the ship, the Cylons. And these little fucking things were cool as hell. I love the design of these little bastards.
Hello, computer. Just use the mouse.
Right.
I know. Sorry. Come on. That's a classic line from number 4. It's just it's so. Anyways, Far, continue. Sorry about that.
But they just kind of had this distinctive look. At a glance, it looks kind of like your typical UFO thing, like especially yourself from the top. And you turn around, it's got these big fucking the cooling system. There's big ass engines on the back of it, and that combined with the odd, almost archaic way the Cylons looked like silver Roman fucking centurions.
Right.
It's an odd combination of elements with the enemy forces in this show.
Yeah, it is very true. Yeah, the Cylons did have it was like steel and chrome and
and then you had these kind of dingy, very like fucking industrialized looking ships that they flew around in.
Yeah, much more industrialized looking than the Vipers.
Than the Cylons themselves, even really.
Even yeah, that's true.
It's like, you cut into the cockpit view of these, and there's these silver like chromed out motherfuckers flying and shit. Like a muscle car of starfighters bones.
Yeah,
kinda.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
That's one thing. There was such an interesting contrast between the Vipers that the human fleet was using and these big fucking things the Cylons would send out.
Yeah. I was gonna pull up the OG one from like the old school, but
if you've got an image of the Viper,
I don't have it. I could pull one up, but we got a few more here. We're gonna pull up. Okay, so gonna backtrack slightly.
Okay. Okay.
So remember when I showed this? Okay, so from Space Above and Beyond. All right. Phoenix just sent me this. This is the fighter that is shown in Fallout 4.
That's really kind of cool.
That's a fucking trip.
And you don't see it flying around. You see these crashed on various parts of Boston, and then in that mission when you first meet the one guy from the Brotherhood, you see a model right in front of that building, like right there, a big like model.
Are you talking about Paladin Dance?
Paladin Dance, yeah, Paladin Dance. When you go in that first mission, when you meet him to go into the building, you see a giant one of these, like on a statue like pedestal. I loved this design. I know it's not a starfighter, but it was in reference to
it's cool. One, so it's a reference. Cool. Fuck it.
Yeah. So we got one from Mr. Nobody here. I don't know what this. I don't know what this is from.
That
so
is from
please
Gundam.
enlighten me.
This is from Gundam.
Which I don't remember this in any.
It's
because you didn't see
an
original one.
Really
mobile suit
funky looking Xeon fighters.
Yep.
This is one of the reason Xeon was initially winning on the ground war, is that they claimed air superiority. So even though the Federation had pumped out their mass production suits, the GIM or the GM, one of the reasons Xeon maintains its offensive for as long as it did was these little fighters. That pod that you see with the various holes in it were actually missile pods. So they'd pin down a group of GMs. These would swing around and then just annihilate them with missiles. So they were able to maintain it. And I always thought it was kind of a goofy looking thing, but I always kind of enjoyed it for that. So
please leave me alone.
It does. Honestly, if you shorten the wings a little bit, it looks like it could even be used as like a submarine in a way.
The Xeon had a weird thing with these kind of uplifted bubble turret cockpits. So yeah, I think even their submarine had something similar to it.
Yeah,
but it was always a very unique unto itself kind of a fighter design. I thought got underutilized even in Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see anything quite like this in a lot of sci-fi, kind of like bug ships.
You really don't, and like bug ships, but they still retain bug ships that aren't alien.
Yeah.
Like you don't see much of that in sci-fi. It's typically the traditional fighter jet-esque deal.
Indeed.
So we got another one from Favre here.
Yeah, that's the transport variant of the visitor shuttle. This is what I was talking about, where they made these things modular. These were used when they actually started. Okay, so just for a little bit of understanding, V initially started with these big ass ships come down to Earth, right? And initially they present themselves as arriving in peace to be friends with humanity, right? As time goes on, shady shit starts happening. Eventually, they out themselves as an invasion force who has come to gather resources and food, which, by the way, would be people.
It's made of people.
And these are how they would deliver troops from the motherships. One of these big fuckers would come down with a shitload of visitor soldiers in it, and they just swarm an area with like these dropship.
You might hate me for when I say what this reminds me of.
What?
Neelix's shuttle.
That's because they ripped that shit off.
Oh, they ripped
this
it
came
off
out in the 80s, dude.
They did rip it off then. Wow.
Yeah, it does resemble Neelix's shuttle to a degree. It does, yeah. It does.
Neelix was a visitor?
There was
the Voyager, yes.
Why we didn't like him.
When they were gathering resources, because when they came to Earth,
Voyager's
they weren't
deepest, darkest secret.
They hadn't just arrived for food. They were actually stealing water from the Earth, too. So they had a variant of this that had these huge tanks on it that was actually freaking like taking water by like these giant tank loads with these ships and taking it back up to the motherships, too. So these things were literally all-purpose ships. They were fighters. They were cargo transports. They were tankers, transports for soldiers. They did everything.
I mean, if you think about it, it is realistic if you can build a frame where the center part is modular to where it could be, like you said, it could be any number of things. It just you swap out pods. It kind of reminds me in a way of the Nebula class starship, where it's got that pod on top where it can be any number of roles depending on what that pod is on top. It kind of like reminds me in of that to a degree. Yeah, I know.
No, that's fine, man.
Yeah. So we got I think we got two. No, we got three more, two from me, one from Farv. So we're gonna go one more mine, then Farv, then me. So this is from the I guess you can call it the latest Battlestar Galactica.
Is that the new Viper?
That's the Viper Mark 6. This was the one in the show that, and you see in the beginning, was hacked by the Cylons and slaughtered, and there was only one that survived, and it was Apollo's. And the only reason why it survived is because they ended up having they basically deleted the OS on it and then rebooted it, so it cleared out all the hidden code that allowed the Cylons to take control.
Now, can I just say something right at the top of my head while we're talking about that?
Shoot.
Now, I know that a lot of people weren't around, early enough to see the original, but was I the only one who found the Cylons in that remake kind of disappointing?
I feel like they made them too complex as a species, because they had the human Cylons, and then you find out that later on as the show goes on, there's actually division amongst the ranks, because some are like, we've been fighting these guys, and we haven't beaten them.
I don't mind that, because like there was conflict in the original where like it was like, and it was Balthazar was like human, or at least he seemed human. Among the Cylons, but then like I don't know, and I didn't like the design all that much either. Yeah, I mean again, it's a reimagining of it, so obviously they sleeked the Cylons up. I didn't hate the new. It's just different. Yeah, it's just different. They're each vastly different. I mean, the shows are similar in some ways, but other than that, they are vastly different. So I like both of them for different reasons. I remember actually reading, quick side story, based on the original series, the book that covered the first few episodes. There was an actual Battlestar Galactica book. Got it for 50 cents at an old bookstore. The pages were so delicate, but I read the shit out of that thing until the edges started fraying. It was funny. Because they actually say this in the book. I forget which two characters was, but they're in a launch tube, and it literally says they start having sex. And another character in the book sees them, and she hits the exhaust vent, so hot steam starts filling it because she's jealous because she wants the guy, and so she sees them having sex in the launch tube. I remember reading that, and I was not even 10 years old. I forget. It just sounds like something Starbuck would have done, because like in the original, Starbuck wasn't a chick.
No, but it was in that it was a woman who hit the vents. It was
what I'm saying is there was probably another ex-girlfriend of Starbucks that caught
it. Might have been. I like I said, I don't remember. It was so fucking long ago I read the book. I just remember that, like, to this day, like they start having sex, and I'm like, what am I reading? And I'm like 7, 8 years old. I'm like, what the? And I hadn't seen the show yet, because the show, remember, this is back in the 90s where certain shows weren't even available to watch.
Yeah, well, they hadn't put it back out again, I don't think.
They hadn't. So give me one quick second. Just do that. Okay. So we're gonna go back down to one of Favre's.
A-Wing.
Oh yeah, everybody that knows Star Wars.
I love how the picture shows a gray background, but on here it looks like a 3D.
It's a PNG. It probably just.
It's a suicide capsule.
I mean, technically, I would say it was a suicide capsule, maybe the same way the Mitsubishi Zero was. If you knew what you were doing with it, you were gonna fuck somebody's shit up.
Yeah, I love reading a description about this. Did you all ever read it was a commander in the Rebel fleet, what he said about this fighter?
Have at it though, man.
only the most brazen pilot would ever think to fly the A-Wing because of how touchy the controls were and almost how uncontrollably fast it was.
Yeah.
Sounds like my kind of ride.
Is it sad that in Star Wars Squadrons, this thing's my bitch?
No, actually, in the Squadrons, the two fighters I always fly the most are the X-Wing and the A-Wing.
Yeah, I just go around like, okay, you guys go do the boring stuff. I'm gonna murder anything that flies. Any questions?
I do like the A-Wing and the Interceptor. I do occasionally like to rock the bomber though on the Imperial side.
Hey, Kronos, how you doing? So, yeah, the A-Wing is it's one of those fighters when you see it, you're like, oh, that one. You mean the one where basically you're just a flying dart that's just asking to die?
With cannons on the side?
Yeah.
Basically. Oh my god.
It's like the equivalent of taking a 0 and putting Stuka cannons on it.
Basically, yeah. I mean, it is it's an iconic design. It really is. So we got one from Phoenix here. I don't know.
Shit.
I don't know what this is from.
Delta Saber from Project Sylphy.
Oh my god.
In that, you got two forces. The Terran Central Government, which flies the Delta Saber, and then you got the Aiden Alliance, which has its own variants. The was it Vindicator?
I was gonna say straight up too, the captain of your fucking ship was hot as fuck.
Oh yeah.
I don't know this game. Never heard of it.
It was on the Xbox 360. Essentially, the Terran Central Government, what it did was dropped some terraformers, the big, huge pylons, essentially, onto one of the planets, one of its colonies, and that started the whole Aiden Alliance. After that, Marcus, the protagonist's friend, winds up being forced to leave the academy, and eventually shit goes down.
Yeah.
This one, it is heavy modular. You can stick a huge underslung cannon underneath it, multi lock-on missiles, which I find incredibly fun.
Yeah, the customization of your loadout was a huge part of that game.
Oh yeah, I like this fighter. I really do. But the Aiden Alliance variant, that puts this one to shame in terms of looks.
What's that?
What game was this again?
This was Project Sylphy on the 360.
I'm gonna see if I can find it, because I'm curious. Was it a fighter simulator?
Yeah, it was a fighter simulator.
I mean, I'm always good for a good fighter simulator, because there's not many of them out there, surprisingly, for sci-fi. Like, the 90s had a lot of sci-fi based fighter simulators, like Star Wars or Wing Commander or stuff like that. But then as we got later generations of consoles, aside from Star Wars, you really didn't see fighter simulators coming out that I'm aware of. So I want to check this out.
Just so you know that the main protagonist is a bit of a whiny bitch.
Yeah, he is kind of a jackass.
Well, there's always going to be
there's other characters that are just fine. In fact, most of the other characters are fine.
They're just fine, but towards the end, the leader of the Aiden Alliance goes batshit crazy. She turns out batshit crazy.
And Kronos, don't worry, we got your back. We talked about the Gunstar a little earlier, so rewatch the stream, because I don't know what time mark it is, but we did talk about the Gunstar, and maybe down the road we'll do our just favorite sci-fi ships in general, and I will include Centauri's car in that too.
And how the previous candidate failed because he vomited on the trainer.
So I got two more. I actually just thought of one because based on something Kronos just said. Who knows what this is from?
Oh, the Wing Commander movie.
Oh my god,
Oh,
dude!
That's not a rapier. Pull up a picture of an actual rapier.
Okay, I
have
looked
one?
up Wing Commander fighters, and there was so many of them. I don't know the differences.
is that
They
a
don't look like that. That's your best.
Just look
bet,
up the Wing
Zel.
Commander rapier. That's the one you want to find.
Okay.
Looks like the Natter.
Is that a Gatling gun at the front?
Yeah,
It's
supposed to
it's
be
like a
laser.
laser Gatling gun, basically. That's what the humans flew in. Okay, there's multiple variations of a rapier, so I'm
That-
gonna just
that
pull up.
movie
the
was-
cockpit section of an F-11 electric intercept, like electric aviation interceptor. The electric, they call it the Electric Lightning, and then they just slap sci-fi on. It's way ugly compared to the real thing.
That movie
No.
was deeply questionable in general.
Okay, that's one of those guilty pleasure movies I have where I know it's not good, but I just like if I want to sit and
I
chill,
have to
I
ask
will
a
watch it.
question, and it's not. I'm not trying to be mean, but I gotta ask a question.
Shoot.
How the fuck were you able to stand that movie with Freddie Prinze Jr. and fucking Matthew Lillard mugging through fucking 90% of it?
Because their commanding officer was attractive.
I mean,
Okay.
kind of, but
Are we
Saffron
gonna wrap
Burrows,
this up?
I don't know.
Running out of time.
Okay, I'm just saying it's like I said. I know it's
Okay.
terrible, but
All
it's
right.
just one of those movies that I watch just because I enjoy it, and it's a guilty pleasure. That's what that category's for.
Okay.
But is this the rapier you're talking about? Because there were
Yes, that's
multiple
what it's
variants of
supposed to
That's the
look
rapiers.
one. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Okay. So I mean that definitely looks like a bitchin' fighter.
Yeah, I'd watch it if it looked like that.
Yeah. So all right. Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm not saying this is a good fighter design. I'm not saying it at all. It reminds me of an A10, but just like a shitty version of a sci-fi version of an A10.
They took the
That's-
size of the engines from the A10 and stuffed it all towards the front cannon.
Basically, and then they try to compensate, because they were lacking in other areas, and decided to throw an even bigger gun on the
it's like-
front.
it's so minimalist. It doesn't look like it should even be able to function.
Yeah. Again, the movie's terrible, but again, if it's a guilty pleasure, so
I wonder if it'll
No.
be able to fly in the atmosphere with his.
Oh
cannon.
god! If that thing were
there's
to
no way
atmosphere,
it
I think
could.
it would fly to pieces.
there's no way that thing could ever fly in atmosphere. Its engines are too small. Its wings are stubby. The F4 Phantom at least made sense because of those giant engines. So it lacked in wings, it made up for in thrust to compensate. This is
By
just
the
not.
way, CSA,
Yo,
look in Thunderdome. I posted pictures of the fleet of the ship commander from that Sylphie game.
give me 1 second. Let me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we going to wrap this
Okay.
up?
All right. All right. A redhead. I approve.
I think Travis needs to wrap this up.
Yeah. Sorry. So I have one more, but we're gonna skip that one. Because I want to be sensitive to Travis too. So we're gonna wrap this up, y'all. We got Travis. Thank you for joining us. Farb, do you want to shill yourself?
Yeah, I got a channel called Forvithian Guard. I just posted some shit up there today, but it ain't rendered, so it won't be technically there till tomorrow, other than as a live stream direct link. I got Forvithian Guard. I do all that gaming shit on there. We're slowly working on it. We just got our capture card set up. We got to get that set to do console stuff on the channel. I have Iron Fangs Gaming is just kind of my mirror channel on Odyssey. So that's two places you can find my stuff. It's
That's
a work
when I
in
get
progress kind of
canceled.
thing. Shut up. But yeah, it's a work in progress thing. We're still working on it.
Yeah. So y'all go check him out on YouTube. The link to his channel is in the description. Also, I don't have his Odyssey link. I need to get that from you.
I'll have to resend it to you or something.
Yeah. So
I need to start posting that on my fucking videos anyway.
Yeah, but just like put it in the description at least, so that way. But yeah, so I will edit the description either today or tomorrow. It'll have Favre's Odyssey channel. Support him there as well, because again, with YouTube constantly doing random shit with no reasoning at times.
I'll do it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll edit the I'll edit
polite.
this after. Yeah, that is being polite. So, Phoenix, you want to plug yourself?
All right. All right. Where do I start? You can find my channel is Phoenix Argers. At the moment, I am playing Solaris on Wednesdays. I'll be doing that a little bit earlier, and at the moment, it is the Galaxy Divided mod. I'm going to be playing on it. On Mondays, I am going to be doing Deserts of Karak. And on Fridays, it'll be 7 Days to Die with open invitation to my viewers and anyone else that wants to come in and play.
Awesome. So go check out Phoenix's channel. I'll get yours edited in there too, because I have a bunch of pre-saved links. I don't have yours, Phoenix, so I will get. We'll work on that. So I'm going to edit the description. Get Barb's Odyssey channel. No, I know, but I'm going to edit the actual description so that way anyone who's watching it. But I'll get Favre's and Phoenix's channels in the description. Phil, you want to plug yourself?
Yeah. So I have a channel called Kilroy Was Here. I do gaming streams every so often, either on my own or with a bunch of these guys when we're doing STO or Jackbox or Cards Against Humanity, which is two things that I'm planning on doing soon. This week was kind of hectic for me, so I wasn't able to stream anything, but I am planning to continue streaming regularly starting up probably Monday. So look forward to that. Again, my channel is Kilroy Was Here.
Awesome. All right. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Travis, Favre, Phoenix, Mr. Nobody, Phil. I want to thank y'all for being here as guests. I want to thank everyone in the chats, Kronos, Nicole Mellet. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name right and not butchering it. Let's see. I know there was somebody. Bone, I want to thank you for being here. I know Phoenix was in here. I want to thank y'all for watching and for everyone.
Revan.
Oh, Revan. Yeah. Well, and Revan was in the chat and on here too. So thank you all for watching. Everyone who rewatches this later on, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, please. It means a lot to me if you like and subscribe to the channel. So from everyone here at the Smoking Patriot, y'all have a good day. Peace.
See ya.
Later.